Have you ever been taken for money?
500 quid. So we're filming the day off. Day in the life of a plumber, just the day off. Right, that's the van dropped off. You can see it just there. Right, so first question. For anyone thinking of starting a YouTube channel, can you say if it pays well and how you tackle the bad comments from idiot trolls? So this means that obviously I can't go to work today. Even though it's a dead day money-wise, I've got jobs to go and look at, which then obviously lead on to work. If you had your time again, would you still be a plumber? Will I ever invest in a press tool? For the sake of 500 quid, you've got no guarantee, no warranty, nothing on it. Never heard back from it. But what I've noticed is pressure on it was at 3 bar. I've had a fair few of these type of questions to do with pricing jobs, how much I charge, do I do a call out? But anyway, enough of that. Good news is you've got some drills and that coming soon in a giveaway. Right, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I've done an intro in the van, and there's good reason for it today, because I've booked my van in for its first service. The van is coming up for 2 years old. It's done just over 11,000 miles. The service intervals on this are either 2 years or 20,000 miles. So it's coming up for 2 years. So it's in at Vauxhall for a service. So this means that obviously I can't go to work today because a van is probably our main tool, our biggest tool that we've got. If you haven't got a van, you can't get to work. So yeah, so it's in Vauxhall for a service. So I'm just going now, it's 8:15. I'm just going now to drop it off, pick a courtesy car up. But I just wanted to sort of take you through it a little bit, because even though it's a dead day money wise, I've got jobs to go and look at, which then obviously lead on to work. And sometimes if you're that busy, I've been absolutely manic. So to be fair, it's quite nice to have today off to a degree where I can go, right, I'll do that, go and look at that job, and you know, go to Plumbase, get some prices for the jobs and get back to a few people that have been on at me to get to them. Just the barn swallowed up a load of time, and other jobs I've been trying to catch up and all that sort of stuff. You know what it's like. But also what I'm going to do throughout the day, I asked on the YouTube community for some questions. You know, what do you want to know? Ask me some questions, I'll try and answer them, or I'll answer them the best I can, or whatever. So I had about 20 odd questions come in, so I'm going to answer them during the day as we go along the day. Give a shout out to everyone that's asked questions. Right, so first question from Steve Hitchin. Will I ever invest in a press tool? Now, press tools, press fittings, I get asked this quite a lot. I've never, tell a lie, I've had one go with a press tool at the installer show last year. I popped onto the Lawton Tube stand, and Rob from Lawton Tubes had a press tool there, and a quick go with it. In short, at the moment, no. I personally can't justify the outlay of, I think off the top of my head, it's like 1,200 quid for the gun, depending on what gun you buy. So it's 1,200 quid, and you have to buy the jaws apparently separate to fit 22mm, 15mm, etc. And then the fittings, Plumbase, where I use, as you know, majority of the time, they don't stock press fittings. So that would be a bit of a pain in the arse for me. To be honest, I've never had a go with it. I don't know what it's like. I'd like to have a go. I've spoke to a few people about it, and you know, I'm open to having a go with it, but I personally wouldn't be putting 1,500 quid or so into a tool that then, from all accounts, you might probably put me right on this, comment below if you know, the fittings are a lot dearer. I quite like soldering, I prefer soldering when I get to do it. A lot of work at the minute has been plastic stuff, as you've seen, but as I've always said, I always first fix in plastic on big jobs. And sometimes it's easier to just loop a bit of plastic under the floor to move a radiator or whatnot. So in short, Stephen, will I convert to press fit? I don't think so, mate, not at the minute. Funnily enough, I went on the Trade Legends podcast and we had this discussion, me and PB, and Pete was saying, he said to me, you'll get left behind if you don't move to press fit. I get it for the whole, you don't need a hot works permit, I just work mainly in people's houses, so that's not an issue. No, in short, unless someone can massively convince me, if anyone's out there and wants to try and convince me to switch to press fit, I'm all ears. But at the minute, I won't be putting my money into it, to be perfectly honest. But hope that answers that one, Steve. Thank you. Right, getting up near Vauxhall now. Let's go and drop this van off. Right, that's the van dropped off. You can see it just there. They're going to give me a ring later on in the day. They probably said mid-afternoon, and they've given me this little electric Corsa, which is quite funky. Give a little electric car a go. No, not really driven an electric car. A friend of mine's got a Tesla. I've had a little go in that, but nothing of any substance to see what they're like, so I'll be interested what it's like. And also what I've got to do is look at a heating system flush as well later today, so I'll take you along to look at that, and just show you what I look at when pricing for a system flush, because a few people have asked me what if there's not a Magna Clean or a Fernox filter or anything like that, because some systems they weren't fitted on. What I always do is say to the customer, look, it's best if you have one fitted as well. Now's the perfect time because I'm draining the system, etc, etc. Majority of them go for that. If not, then I'll try and cut the valves in as close to the boiler as possible on the return to get the system on, but 9 times out of 10 they'll go for a filter on it anyway. So we've got to go and look at that, and I'll get through a few more of your questions. It's been a while since we've been here at Plumbase. Let's pop in and see how the lads are doing.
I'll be too big for mine. Sort of goes out correctly.
It's the rod. It's the rod.
Mate.
I'm alright, mate. How are you?
How are you, mate? Working today. Yeah. So you got a day off today, mate?
Day off.
Yeah.
So we're filming a day off.
Filming a day off.
A day in the life of a plumber, just a day off.
What do you reckon to these, Tiff? They're good. I like Texite. They're good, mate.
Proper push fit. They don't never fitted them. Were they for free to give a go?
Yeah, they're good for under the sink.
There we go.
Freebie from Dave. First time in about 2 years.
It doesn't matter. Good things come to those that wait.
Yeah.
Have you ever been taken for money?
500 quid.
What's that it?
Is the most I've ever been taken. I did a barn conversion, underfloor heating, 4 bathrooms. She paid me all the money. I think it was about 40 odd grand's worth of stuff, like labour. Yeah. So it was over like a year and a half, 40 odd grand. She paid it all. And then I said, right, keep 500 quid. Let me know if there's any bits you need finishing off at the end. So a month after moving in, there was like a loose tap or something like that. So I went there, I said, make a list, spent the day there getting all these little bits sorted. And I said, right, okay, that's everything now. It's just the outstanding 500 quid. I'm not paying that. I went, well, you know, we said, you get all the snagging bits done. Once that's done, the leftover on I'd already had the money out of the job. It was, you know, it was all, I made money. She was like, oh, I'm not paying you that because you had to put the tap right. And I went, yeah, that's the snagging at the end. They're the bits that once you've lived there for a month, you'll see bits that are wrong. I'm not paying it yet. And I went, okay. Left it a couple of weeks, put another invoice into her, saying, you know, like a final reminder. No, not paying it. So the last one was, if you do not make the final payment at £500, none of the work is guaranteed. You won't have a 2-year guarantee on anything. So if you get a leak next week and the ceilings come down, don't come to me because you haven't paid that last 500 quid. She just fucking...
Well, you never
she just never paid it. So I went, right, for the sake of 500 quid, you've got no guarantee, no warranty, nothing on it. Never heard back from her. Right, as I was in Plumbase, I said to Dave, can I just sit upstairs for a little bit in between all your stock and just go through a couple of questions that I've got from the subscribers on YouTube? He's like, yeah, knock yourself out. So, Darren Phillips, if you had your time again, would you still be a plumber? I know I wouldn't. Would I still be a plumber? Do you know what? I think I would. Plumbing's done me well. I've done all right out of plumbing. I enjoy it. Met a lot of great people through it. It's a trade. Everyone loves a trade. You're sort of drummed into it. Get a trade behind you and you'll be all right. So yeah, if I had my time again, I think I would be a plumber. If I had my time again now, I think I would get more into the renewable side of it, the air source, ground source sort of channels. I've looked at doing it, so that's something I might follow up in the next couple of years or so, is just get my head around the renewable side a little bit more. So yeah, I would be a plumber again, I think. Right, we've got another one from Gary M. For anyone thinking of starting a YouTube channel, can you say if it pays well and how you tackle the bad comments from idiot trolls? I think we all know how I tackle the idiot comments. I just put DHC, dickhead comment. This started very early when I started my YouTube channel. For some reason, when I was on like 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers, I used to get a lot of dickhead comments. I don't mind constructive comments, ones that someone's gone, oh, I see what you've done there. You can also do it this way, or you can also do it that way. I like them comments, and I've learned from people who said, oh, you can't do it like that, you can do it like that. It's the approach. It's when someone says, that's wrong, shouldn't do it like that. People have different ways of doing things. And sometimes people don't like to hear that their way isn't the right way. You know, if I do something, I always say, this is how I do it. Like the whole silicon in a tray down, that's a massive thing. Shouldn't silicon it down. It says in the manufacturer's instructions it should be bedded on sand and cement. I've silicon trays down for 20 years, not a problem at all for me. And what else did Gary ask? For anyone thinking of starting a YouTube channel, can you say if it pays well? If you're looking at starting a YouTube channel for the money, it won't last. You won't do it, I don't think. You've got to enjoy doing it. There's a lot of graft that goes into building a channel to become monetized. You have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watched hours to get a YouTube channel monetized. Now, if you read up a little bit on it, I think the average to get to that point is something like a year or 18 months. So, you know, for 8 months, you could be making content, putting videos together, which takes hours to do, for 37 people to watch it, you know. And at the end of the day, 37 people watching it is great if you're enjoying doing it. If you're doing it to make money, you ain't going to make money that way. But when you do start to progress, you do make a bit of money. You know, it's not life-changing money, but I make enough. You know, you do make a little bit of money. It's a nice extra little bit of money. And also, with companies coming to you, you know, like uni, like the Trade Legends uni, like, you know, Alex at uni, like he does give me lights and that, which is great. And I appreciate that. And I've also bought lights off him, and he's gone, no, Mark, have them. And I've gone, no, I want to buy them. You give me enough. I want to buy them. For instance, the giveaway I did, a load of uni light stuff. Alex gave me some stuff, but I bought probably 100 quid's worth of lights from them to then give away. So, you know, they're the perks as well. You get given clothes, like at the minute, Bisley WorkWear have given me a load of clothes, and they're brilliant. I'm going to do a little thing on that because their workwear is mega. I struggle with, this is linking onto another question I've seen. In fact, I'll try and find it. Someone asked about workwear and trousers, because obviously, as you can see, I'm a big fella. I used to struggle getting work trousers that fitted me. I used Snickers ones, but they used to always fall apart. And then I started to use scruffs, and I found them really good. But these Bisley WorkWear ones are brilliant. They're stretchy, they're tight round the legs. I find a lot of the work trousers are really baggy round the legs, and I don't like that. But the Bisley ones are quite tight round the leg. Not too tight, but they look like a nice pair of jeans. They're not like work trousers. I'm just trying to find who it was that mentioned it, because I've sort of addressed it while oh, here we go. Geordie Mod, my question is, do you find it easy to buy trousers to fit properly? I struggle there, either too tight on the waist or too long. And a few people have commented on it. Put essentials in your pockets. T-shirts are the same. Try the Bisley range. The Bisley trousers are really good, really tough. The knee pads are sort of like, they've got like a rubber membrane on the front of the knee pads as well, so they're dead tough. But just the fit on them, the Bisley ones, just the fit on them. And if you go on the Trade Legends, I'll put it in the description below. If you go on the Trade Legends website, they're sponsored by Bisley WorkWear, and you get a big discount. So Bisley WorkWear, I'm going to do a bit of a thing, because they sent me some trousers to try and a jacket as well, and they're spot on. I can't fault them. So yeah, so I've addressed 2 questions there in one. Right, let's get on with the rest of the day. We've got to go and look at this heating system flush and a leaking shower tray for someone. Right, so I've come to this house again. Every video seems to be a friend of mine. This is a friend of mine who, after seeing the last video of a heating flush, got in contact with me. I think we need a heating flush. They had a radiator valve that was sticking, He's got a contract with British Gas. They come and change the valve, but it weren't the valve, and it worked out that there was a blockage in their system somewhere on their pipework upstairs. So what the British Gas engineer was, pressurised up to about 3 or 4 bar and pushed the blockage out, but advised him to get a system flush. So Neil's rung me, can you come and flush the system out? So I've just popped round just to have cast my eye over it. There's like a radiator there. It's a 3-storey townhouse, a couple of rads. But what we've got is, on this one, the boiler is up in the roof. So what I check is, been round, checked all the radiator valves, all thermostatic valves, bar for obviously the towel rails. And we've got radiator over there, but the boiler, Valent, is up here. What I like to check as well is if they've got a filter on it. This one's got a Spirotech filter, so we'll jump up and I'll show you. So up here we've got a Valent, I think it's a 837. Yeah, Ecotech 837. But what I've noticed is the pressure on it was at 3 bar. So what I'm going to do is open, just while I'm here, I've only literally come in just to cast my eye over the system, make sure we know what we're dealing in for before giving Neil a price on it. Just to make sure there's a Spirotech filter on it. So we'll have to connect the Magna Cleanse up here. It'll go on there. It'll sort of sit here, and then we'll have to run the hose down into the shower tray or into the toilet. What I'm going to do is just go downstairs, take some air out of one of the rads, or bleed one of the rads so that it brings that down to 1.5 bar. So that's basically what I look at, is if the system's in good order, it works. I've asked the customer, do all the rads get hot? Yeah, all the rads get hot. Make sure it's got a filter on. Otherwise I would have advised to have a Magna Clean filter fitted, but that Spirotech one we can work with. Again, it's similar to the Fernox one. Unscrews off here, and we've got an adapter plate to go on it, so that's not a problem. Seems pretty good, so I'll get a price to Neil for doing that, and maybe in a couple of weeks get here and give this system a bit of a flush out. But they're the sort of points that I look at when looking over a system. Make sure the rads are all okay, make sure they're all getting hot before you've done anything to the system. Make sure it's got an inline filter already on it, which this one has. And just make sure really the system's in good order. Right, so I just swung round to another customer's house. Again, I keep saying it, another mate of mine. It's always a mate. And if you can see it, up here, I'll spin the camera around. He's called me out for, there's a slight watermark showing on his kitchen ceiling there and there. Obviously above that, as you could probably tell, is a shower tray. So I'll take you upstairs and show you exactly what we're dealing with. So what we've got here is said shower tray. Now, I've come to look at loads like this over the years, and you sort of know exactly what it's going to be. But I will show you anyway. I've got a little torch here. You can see the grout on these tiles is just coming away. The house is about 8 years old. So just movement in the tray, movement in the floor, or just the way the builders have built it, it's just beginning to crack. And then down in this corner here, you can see the silicone coming away from the wall ever so slightly. Same in this corner, silicone's coming away, and shower screen's in the way. But again, you've got cracking on the tiles there, and also along that back edge there. So what I've said to Matt is, we'll start with the cheapest solution first. We're going to sort of work from there down, pull the grout out, re-grout it, re-silicone it, and just try that before you go to the next stage of taking the tray out, tiles off, etc, etc. You know, you try to offer your customer the cheapest alternative that's going to work. If I know that's not going to work, I wouldn't advise it. I've done enough of them over the time to go, that might work. Even if it works for, you know, 18 months, 2 years, until they go, right, okay, we'll gut this room and redo it. So that's a little insight into just an issue you sometimes get with leaking showers, and you can sort of, basically, you know exactly what you're going to deal with there. Right, so that's that shower tray job sort of looked at. As I said during it, Matt's obviously noticed there's a bit of a watermark on the ceiling. What I'll do with that job is I'll speak to my tiler and just say, look, I've got a job for a customer. It's got a bit of a crack in the grout and whatnot, and to be fair, my tiler will probably go and sort that out to him. So I'll just pass that one over. If that doesn't work, it doesn't solve it, I'll then speak to Matt, readdress it, maybe in 18 months time or whatever he wants to switch the bathroom out, the ensuite out, and go from there. As you can probably tell, I've switched cars again. I couldn't be dealing with that electric car. It's just a bit crap. So I've jumped into my car. Now, question-wise, I've had a fair few of these type of questions to do with pricing jobs, how much I charge, do I do a call-out charge, and stuff like that. So I'm going to give a little shout out to everyone that sort of mentioned it. So we've got Mike the Mammoth, where are we? Paul Thompson, Reese Otang, probably not pronounced right, Jonathan Swan, Dan, David Park. They've all sort of said similar things. So I'll sort of go through them. Mike the Mammoth, I'm not that interested in how much you quote, but how I find it really interesting how you arrive at costs for a quote. Like bathroom costs. I allow enough within a bathroom cost to cover me for them 2 weeks that we're on it, because I'm going to be dropping in and out of that job, and then during that job I'll have the tilers on site. I'll be going and sorting materials out, maybe going and picking bits up for the tilers while doing other little jobs at the time I'm not there. So what I usually allow for that is like 2 or 3 days to strip the bathroom out, get the first fix in place, get everything in, get the electrician in, putting cables in anywhere, if there's any stud work that's got to go in, and then get it ready for the tiler. Tiler's usually 2 or 3 days on it, but then I'm switching in between the jobs. I'm always popping back to make sure, as you'll have seen on the sunken bath job, I kept popping back every now and again. It just reassures the customer, knows that they realise that you're always conscious of the job. If there's any problems on the job, you're there to sort of head up and look after it. They employ me to oversee everything, so that allows me a bit of leverage to be there. I can also pop out and do little jobs that I've got and stuff like that. Do you buy materials specifically for the job or before the job, or do you carry loads of stock on the van? I don't carry loads of stock because I've got Plumbase. Where I live is the 2 fairly small towns, Warwick, Leamington, Stratford, Kenilworth. You know, they're all pretty local, so I don't need to carry huge amounts of stock on the van, and I can always ring Plumbase up. Have you got this? No, right, I'll pop online, see if Screwfix have got it or whatever. So gone are the days, I think, of carrying loads of stuff. Carry a lot of washers and like tap cartridges and stuff like that, that if you go to a job you might have in the van. But worst case scenario, it's probably 20 minutes I can pop out and pick up what I need. Doing this, and I think I touched on my pricing structure for bathrooms and stuff on a previous video, it's massively different through the country. There's day rates round here of 200 quid, 250 quid a day. I've heard of day rates of 350, not round here, but you know, round about. I've also heard of day rates of 140, people who work for 140. I can't work for that sort of money, and fortunately enough, I've built my business up over a long period of time. I don't need to work for that money. What else was there? Pricing structure, hourly, per job. Yeah, call out fees. I tend to charge sort of 70 to 80 quid for a call out. If it's an emergency call out, 80 quid, but that includes the first hour. So if I turn up to a job and there's water pissing through the ceiling, that 80 quid gets me to the job and is the first hour. Now what I will do, I'll get there, I can shut your water off, fix the leak if it's something. If not, I can isolate it, get your water back on, or if it's a heating, drain it down. If it's a simple enough thing to sort out, I'll do it there and then. How do you price up jobs like the barn conversion? Is it a day rate? So with that barn conversion, I'm doing it for Scott. So I've done all of Scott's plumbing work on his building jobs for years and years and years, 12, 15 years maybe. I went to school with him, good friends with him. Now I do everything for Scott on a day rate because we've seen how much that barn can change, and it's a bit of give and take. I know there's always work with him. He knows that I'll get there. If I've got to pull off for a few days and go, look Scott, I can't be here all week, I've got this to get to and this to get to, he's lenient like that. Whereas other builders want you there from the start to the end, no matter what. They think they employ you and they don't. So the barn conversion for me and for all the other jobs I've done for Scott is day rate. You know, we've got a good working relationship. It's not a problem. Right, what else have we got? How do you go, Jonathan Swan, how do you go about planning your jobs? How far advanced do you book jobs in? I've just booked all of May out for 2 bathrooms that I'm doing in the same house. So go there, do the first bathroom. Once that one's done, signed off, ticked off by the customer, we'll then start the second one straight away. But like I've just said, I'll be there, but I can pull off when the tiler's there, you know, because he'll want the room for his, if it needs plastering, you know, I might have a couple of days where I can get to other jobs, so I can fit stuff in and around it. It's not a problem. Also, what advice would you give when getting a work vehicle? Right, for the first 12 to 14 years of me being self-employed, working for myself, I bought my own van, you know, saved up. My first van was, I think, £2 grand. It was a crappy old Transit. And then I ended up selling my personal car at the time and putting the money into a van, and that saw me good for 8 years. And then the van I've got now, again, I've mentioned it in a previous video, I leased that van. So I've got a 5-year lease on that van through Vanarama. It's a brand new or it was brand new 2 years ago, Vauxhall Vivaro Sport. It's a real smart, you know, I like my van, it's a real smart van. Because they're our office. I've always said a builder's, tradesman's van is their office. So I'm in it more than I'm in the house and more than I'm in my car. So I like it to be nice. But yeah, I leased that. I put 800 quid down on that van, and it's 240 quid a month, including VAT, all in, done, which is a mega deal. I think we'd struggle to get that deal now, but it was a 5-year deal, and I fell all right with that because it was just before COVID, and you really struggle to get that sort of deal now. David Park, and in an hourly charge, you charge for lunchtime and travelling to get material. Yeah, as soon as I get to that job, I'll be charging an hourly time for it. To be fair, I probably wouldn't stop halfway through a job if they're paying me by the hour to have lunch. If I'm going to get materials, that's all part of it. You know, if it takes me an hour to go and pick up this and this, then, you know, it's another hour. You've got to pay for the fuel to get there. That is within that hour, and even at that time you grab a sandwich from the shop or wherever and grab a bit of lunch as you're travelling around. Right, I think that's about it for the moment. I've got to go and pick the van up shortly because they rang me and told me it's ready. I'll go through maybe the last few questions once the van's been picked up. Hope you're enjoying it. If you are, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You know, it's a bit of a different video. I'm always getting asked these questions, so I thought, why not just address them for you. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying it, and we'll go now and pick up the van. Right, I've just picked the van up, and I'm just a bit annoyed really, and I'll go into that shortly, but I just wanted to let all my subscribers know, as a thank you for subscribing to the channel, and a few people have asked, when are you going to start doing some giveaways? We have got cat cordless multi-tool to give away, and also a massive 18-volt SDS cat rotary hammer drill to give away. So there's that, charger, 2 batteries, and that to give away very soon, coming probably the next couple of weeks, because I want to give, I've got another set of them drills. I want to give them a try first, so I can say to you what they're like, how they are, what they're like to work day in, day out with. Give it a couple of weeks, I'll have a look over those, but I will be giving a set, well, I will be giving that hammer drill and that multi-tool away. So I've just picked my van up for a service. So it's the first service, and I was quoted 324 quid for a service, which included oil filter, air filter, pollen filter, fuel filter, and brake fluid change, and a wash of the van. Picked it up, paid my money, walked out with the guy, looked at the receipt, and they've done everything except for the brake fluid change and the fuel filter. So I've said, well, why is that not on it? Now the guy said to me, oh no, that's not included. I've gone, well, hang on a minute, I booked it online, and it says online that's included. No, it must be an error with it, and it's not included. I've walked up the van's still filthy. It's been cleaned, but Stevie Wonder must have cleaned it because it was still covered in shit. So again, I'm like, you know, the van's not really been cleaned that well. I said, and you haven't done everything that you said you was going to do. I've jumped in the van, turned the key, and the AdBlue lights come on. So I said to the guy, you've also not topped the AdBlue up. So he's missing AdBlue, he was missing a brake service, a brake fluid change, he was missing a fuel filter change, but they've charged me for everything. So the guys, oh no, it weren't included, rah. He said, I'll ring you back shortly. Spoke to his manager. Oh yeah, the website's wrong, but what we're going to do, we're going to get your van back in, and we're going to do that brake fluid change for you, and we'll do this and we'll clean the van and we'll give you a courtesy car for free. And this, that's it. They also charged me a tenner for that courtesy car. Just really annoyed me. The fact you've come out, it's still filthy, it hasn't been topped up. You pay for stuff you haven't got. And this is why dealers get tired with the same brush for being stealers. Oh, you're taking the van to the stealers. Imagine us going to do pricing someone's job. Right, we're going to fit you a bathroom, new, this, that and the other, and going, oh no, I didn't change the taps, I didn't put new taps in. Or fitting a boiler and go, yeah, I've priced it to fit a Magna Cleanse and an inline filter. Then when it's handed over, you ask, they pay you the full amount. You not put the Magna Cleanse or the filter on. Oh no, we haven't. No, it was just a joke. So that's pissed me off. But anyway, enough of that. Good news is you got some drills and that coming soon in a giveaway. Final question, and I can't remember who it was from. It's the age-old question of, would I take an apprentice on? I've spoke about this a few times. I really wish I could, but for me, it's just a non-productive. It would mean I'd have to employ them, pay them holiday pay, health and safety. The pension thing comes into it. Yes, you get a grant, etc. from the government, but also with me, because I job around a lot, if I get done 2:30, 3 one day, I can go, right, I'll ring my kids up, take the grandkids down the park or whatever. It just doesn't really fit my business model. I always say, a lot of people message me about it as well, and I always say, go to a company. So if you're an apprentice, this is my this is what I advise you to do. Go to a company that's got 4 or 5 blokes, because then you will do 3 months with John, 6 months with Phil, 10 months with Charlotte, 5 months with Eric. You know, you'll get to know loads of different things from loads of different people. That's what I did. I was with a company and got passed around to various different people, and one guy, I quite regret doing it, he was the lead guy, and he was a proper old boy, a lead guy. And he said to me, he went, Mark, learn lead, make sure, you know, knocking up corners and all this sort of stuff, learn it. He said, because it's a dying art. He said, in 10 years time, this was 25 years ago, 10 years time, you'll be able to charge what you want, because there won't be many people doing it. And he was right. I never followed it through. It weren't for me. On a roof, tapping a lead corner up, it's an art, but it just wasn't for me. But I wish I had done. So yeah, apprentices, my opinion on it would be, go try and find a company with you know, 5 or 6 blokes on, and you'll do all right with that. You'll learn off various different people, different ways of doing things, and a variety of work, really. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Something a little bit different. We'll be back to it next week. We've got a busy old week next week, so I'll give them drills a test out, and we can get them up for a giveaway soon. So thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, all that jazz, and I will catch you in the week.